right, greetings everybody. The Custodes previews are here. I am once again granted this opportunity to share the glorious golden previews, and when I say gold, I mean in terms of their armor, because it is some shiny stuff. I'm very stoked to have the Custodes in the game. That's interesting. They're the first non-Astartes Legion in the game, and they've already shown from what we've seen from a couple of the previews that we've seen so far, they look to be very beefy, very representative in terms of their stature and how they are one notch higher than a normal Astartes. Um, Speaking of that, I've got a little bit of literature to share with you following this because I don't want to delay the previews too much. I really want to get into them. I really want you to see them and get hyped because if you aren't already, you need to be. This is big, and it's great to get to this point in the game. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Scuffdy's Legio Custodes previews. All right, so out the gate we've got Moritoi's Wrath. Moritoi is the Custodes class of Dreadnought, or basically it's the Dreadnought cast of the Custodes. So Moritoi's Wrath is a tactic. It's a very basic. It's a common 3 energy. Give +3/+0 to a friendly troop this turn. Draw a card. Now, just this in of itself is going to allow the Custodes some options to draw cards to get around the Sentinel keyword. And it's also, going to allow for some decent damage. +3/+0. Now, it doesn't last through the rest of the turn, or it's not a permanent buff, rather. It's just for that turn. But you're getting a card for 3 energy. That's a decent buff. It's not +2/+0. It's +3/+0. It's a solid tactic. I think we'll definitely see it in event decks. And I think it might find its way in 1 or 2 decks depending on how it combines with the other troops that are available in the faction. So a solid damage support / card draw support for the Custodes faction here we're seeing. So let's take a look here at the next card. Okay, so we've got the Emperor's Gift, a Grav Rhino. Grav tanks of the Legio Custodes are famous for their awesome technology. And this one here has got a very interesting ability. So it's a 5 cost, it's a 3/5, which actually seems to be very standard in lines with a lot of the rhinos that exist in the game. Susceptible to a crack grenade. However, it has got the stun enemies that attack this troop as a constant, and then 2 energy, draw Custodes from your deck. So again, another way to draw cards from your deck, specifically Custodes at the cost of an energy. However, what's interesting here is the backwash from the Grav engines of the Rhino, as it were, stun enemies that attack this troop. So your opponent's going to want to have to throw either troops that they are not expecting to stay on the table, or tactics to destroy this to get rid of it. Otherwise, they're leaving themselves susceptible to having units stunned, including their warlord. It's not necessarily one that your opponent is going to want to go at face with their warlord to get rid of it as a follow-up attack from like a Goldstone or some other troop that they've got on board, or some other fast troop. So it's really could be a beneficial factor to get out for a turn and draw cards, draw Custodes specifically, to give yourself some more bodies on there. For 5 costs, it's not bad. It's a rare. So there you go. That's one vehicle. Now I've got one other one to show you, and I'm a little bit excited about it. So let's take a look at it. So yes, the Trajanar jet bikes. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's a 4 cost. It's got 3 attack, 5 health, and the big selling points. It's fast, and it has battle honor. Return to your hand. So this card here is going to see some play. The potential of returning this card to your hand keeps it in circulation. It's card economy. Very basic card economy. For cost of 4, you are posing a threat to anything that your opponent puts down on the table once they see these jet bikes hit. and it's the jet bikes. The Custodes have jet bikes. That's what they have. Um, the potential of this with even Custodes Wrath, making this a 6/5, drawing a card, then using this to attack a troop with 6 or less health, and then bouncing it back to your hand for a cost of 7 is not to be scoffed at. That is very possible combo. How this works with other warlords that we haven't seen yet, I don't know. But this card, I hate to toss the term staple out loosely, but I really feel that this card is going to see a lot of play. And this is just a rare. There could be an epic or even a legendary version of this card. So looking forward to this. This is probably one of my favorite ones to reveal today. And for good reason. Who doesn't love jet bikes? A battle honor that is useful, that we can actually use consistently on a good card, and it's fast. Fast has proven itself as probably the, aside from flank, as the #1 ability to have on troops. So, great card. So, what do these mean? Man, first off, the Custodes squad, or Custodes Wrath, rather. Like I said, I think that is a tactic that could be potentially included in a lot of decks. I think we're going to see it in event decks. I definitely think we're going to see the Rhino in event decks as well, depending on how the rest of the Legion pans out. And again, I don't like speculating too much because honestly, in a few more days, we're going to know everything. And some things are going to make a lot more sense, and some things are really going to have us looking to come up with some interesting combinations. But as it stands, I think that card has some good defensive value, even though it's not a front line. The fact that it could be a stun potential, they've got to throw something either out to get rid of it right away, some troops that are going to die, or they're going to have to risk having 1 or 2 troops stunned on their side of the turn, because if they are stunned when they're attacking it, they'll be stunned through that turn and the next turn as well. That's just the way the timing on stun works, if you haven't figured that out. But the jet bikes, first off, who doesn't like jet bikes? Second off, fast attack. Third, battle honor, return to hand, which it was actually very similar to something I imagine, and maybe we'll still see it with the White Scars down the road in the future, but that's much down the road. And then also, just to kind of go with that, the fact that, man, just... what does that mean? What combinations are possible with that? Late game, if I've got one of those in my hand, my opponent knows it, they're going to be very reluctant to throw down anything with a 3 health or 4 health or 5 health, because they know I'm going to get rid of it. And we haven't even seen the Warlords, and I think that's really going to be the big key here, is how these cards are going to interact with the Warlords. Is there going to be a Warlord with Sentinel? Are the Warlords going to bestow bonuses? Are they going to draw cards? What are going to be their basic abilities? Even if, let's say, you have a Warlord who does your standard deal 2 damage. At 6 energy, you can deal 2 damage from the Warlord, use a jet bike, that's 5 damage, you get that back to your hand. Your hand grows. You can afford to not play Sentinel troops on the table and draw cards, whatever end game that's going to be. Man, I'm looking forward for more Grav tanks. Grav Rhinos, Grav Predators, Grav Land Raiders. Bring it. Bring on the Grav. I mean, if we see that backwash, that stun concept, ooh. Is this just the future of things to come? I don't know. I don't want to speculate. Again, I say that too much. In 2-3 days, it's all going to be made clear, but I've been really stoked, really excited about these, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And to kind of go with that, like I said, I had some literature I wanted to read with you today. I found a quiet, cozy place to read in the dark and with some candlelight, but I didn't record my candlelight because it was too dark, so I just did the recording. If you don't know what the Custodes are, if you quite aren't sure what the hype is about them or how they operate, if you haven't figured that out already, there's a lot of stuff online that you can find, and I've just wanted to share a passage with you that I think when I first read it years back pretty much said everything I need to know about these guys. So, with that being said, I'll leave that at the end, and I will catch you guys next time, hopefully with the neutral spoilers, if every guild is so gracious as to allow me to continue doing this in about 2 weeks' time. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
These men are my bodyguards. Their lives forfeit to the guarantee of my physical safety. Of their loyalty to me there shall be no question nor doubt. I, and I alone, shall have the authority to stand in judgment over them. No other commander shall they have in battle, nor in service. None shall bar them from me, and none shall hamper or stall their mission. So it is decreed, the Emperor. Each custodian is an awesome warrior, stronger and more resilient than a normal human, or even a space marine. They are without peer in battle, and have unshakable devotion and loyalty to the person of the Emperor. Although they do not appear to have any psychic powers of their own, their willpower is such that they can resist assaults from the most powerful of psychers, save perhaps the Emperor himself.
Alright, that wraps it up for me. If you liked what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe, add any comments below, and if you think the video might be useful or the series might be useful, feel free to share that with other players that you know as well. And we'll talk to you later.